Let me show you something. This is a desktop app that lives in my menu bar. Every time I click it, I get a new affirmation. I built this in one evening. I started with one sentence, no coding background, just an idea and Claude Code. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how I got that from one sentence to this. Lately, I've been trying to start my mornings with something better than opening my first email. So I had a tiny idea. What if I had a little app on my desktop that showed me a positive affirmation whenever I needed one? Nothing revolutionary, just something useful. And I thought this would be the first perfect project to answer a question I have been curious about for a while. Can someone with no coding background actually build something real using Claude Code? Spoiler alert, the answer is yes. Everything you're about to see started from this one sentence. I wanted a website that shows a calming daily affirmation, and I gave it some colors and fonts. At this point, I genuinely had no idea what would happen. Would it build something beautiful, something terrible, or something completely broken? I had no idea. And this appeared. Honestly, what surprised me wasn't that it worked. It was actually good. My colors, my typography, my idea, and that turned into a real website. Okay, let's rewind for a second. Because if you've only used Claude in the browser, you're probably wondering what exactly is Claude Code and how is this different from Claude? Most of us already know. The simplest way I think about this is when you use Claude in your browser, you're having a conversation. But when you use Code, you're giving Claude access to a workspace where it can actually build. It create files, edit files, read the project folders, run commands, and also help your ideas turn into a real working projects. So instead of just telling me how to build the affirmation website, Claude actually built it alongside me. And that's the big difference. Claude Code lives inside the Claude desktop app and works directly with your files on the computer. It's currently available on paid plans, and this is what the interface looks like. At the top, you'll see the usage dashboard, sessions, messages, tokens, and below is the activity heat map. Think of it like a GitHub's contribution graph for your AI building sessions. Every square shows when you have been working with the Claude Code. Here is a quick settings walkthrough. Before starting, I changed three things. First, I selected project folder so Claude had somewhere to save everything. Second, I switched accept edit so Claude could create files more quickly while still asking permissions before doing anything important. And third, I left the modal on Sonnet with medium effort. Simple. Then I hit enter. Once the website worked, I immediately wanted to improve it. This is where Claude Code gets fun. You don't stop after version 1, you keep refining it. A few seconds later, the animation was there. Then I asked myself a question. If this is really a product, can somebody else use it? To answer that, I needed a public URL. So I opened Netlify Drop, dropped the files, and waited about 30 seconds. And suddenly, this thing existed on the internet. I mean, an hour ago it didn't even exist. Now anyone with this link can open it. And I could not stop myself there. Seeing the website wasn't enough. I immediately thought, what if this lived on my menu bar? Meaning, I needed a desktop app. Yes, I wanted to live it on my desktop like a little app I can open anytime I want without going into the browser. So I went back to Claude Code, typed one more prompt, and honestly, at this point, I thought Claude would stop me there. But it said yes and started building along. One thing I appreciated is that Claude asked for my permission every step of the way. Nothing happened silently. This was the first moment where AI stopped feeling magical and started feeling real because real products need real setup. To get this started running, I had to install things I'd never heard of before. Node.js, Homebrew, Electron. 5 minutes earlier, I didn't even know what Electron was. And Claude walked me through every step. And at one point, I literally went for a walk, came back after an hour later, and terminal was still running. This definitely took longer than I expected. But honestly, that's exactly why I wanted to do it. If I ever wanted to build a real product or a real business, I need to understand what the ground actually looks like. Tonight was the reality check. After all of that, this happened. A real desktop app in my menu bar built from one idea on one evening. Honestly, I don't think the hero of this story is the website. I don't even think it's the desktop app. The hero is the fact that an idea became something real. This is a real win. A few hours ago, this existed only in my head. Now it's a real website, it has a URL, it lives in my menu bar. When I started this project, I intentionally chose one of the simplest idea I could think of. Not because I needed an affirmation app, I did need it, but because I wanted to understand something much bigger. If one day I want to build a real product or start a business, what does the ground actually look like? How long does it take? What tools do I need? Where do I get stuck? What parts are easy versus what are hard? And tonight gave me those answers. Most exciting part was in the Claude wrote code. It was that I never had to stop because I did not know how to code. Every time I got stuck, I asked another question and the idea kept moving forward. Now there is a still lot to fix. The website has rough edges and the app isn't even packaged yet, which means right now only I can run it. In the next Claude Code video, we go further. We package this entire app properly so it can be shared. We fix what needs fixing and we are going to build something new. So that's something I wanted to show you. If you would like the full step-by-step guide, comment guide below. And as you know that we are covering Claude across 4 sections, today was our first video on Claude Code, and for the next video, please subscribe.